I'm talking about this because it was on my mind earlier back then as I started out walking, probably just a couple of minutes ago as I was meditating, and I was thinking about the like y'all know that if you look in Exodus, it talks about how the male boys was. It's not saying that the Hebrew women's wasn't targeted like the male boys, male like our like boys. I'm just gonna say it. Let's just say it context. Um, but the Pharaoh ended, who was a Hamite. He said, "Son that is born, that conceived, that come out of the womb, throw him into the river to be ate by alligators." Right? Because they knew either they're gonna be thrown in the river, be fed for bait for alligator. He said, "Every son that is born, cast into the river, and every daughter, all the females, keep them alive." That's what he said. Um, if we uh convert that into, I mean, if we translate that, hold on, wait a minute, let me do something right quick. Hold on a minute, hold on just a second. Okay, if we translate that up until now, who is the biggest targets on this planet? The so-called black man, Negro man, the so-called men of color be targeted. You are a target on every hand. It's like they have cameras. That's what it seemed like. The so-called Caucasian white police, so-called demons, police officers, cars, it's just like cameras. If you notice that they don't ride in their neighborhood, do all of that. But like I said, if you look at what happened to the Hebrew males, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, the Negro man in slavery, right? Why did they offer to kill the male children? Because they was the male men, the Hebrew men was special. The forefathers, our forefathers were special. Now you look at and think about, translate that, you look at in 2022, the so-called 2022, who fill up the population of the jailhouses? Who fill up the prison mass? Who is in mass incarcerated? What's the numbers more higher? Who is in mass incarceration? Fill up the prison systems and the jail system. The so-called black male. So the double standards. A so-called white woman, a so-called white woman, right? We know that they have the European so-called white women. They this is their help. Whatever they do, more than likely, no. Whatever they do, without a shadow of doubt, there's no law for it. They have what is called the privilege. They have the benefit of white privilege. If a so-called black man is going to be a target, they're going to try to put rape on our men, on our people, our dads and forefathers. If you look right there in Genesis 9, Genesis 39, right? You're going to see Joseph, which was a Hebrew man, born of a slave, right? He was thrown in prison because his dirty ass wife, with a damn Hamite woman, sounds just like what a so-called white woman do with Bill Cosby, right? Said that he tried to rape her, right? This is what the so-called dirty and the way these dirty Edomites are. Said that, then she turned around and she told him that, and then he believed what the hell she said and got him put in prison 2 damn years. She got him put in prison for 2 years. And this is what is happening, and I can relate to that because this is what happened to our men that represents dads on the earth. You ain't gonna never read in the Bible where a so-called Edomite got put in prison because our race of women, Negro woman, said that he did something to her. No. You look in there and Genesis 39, Joseph, his master's, Potiphar's wife, which was his master was an Egyptian, which was a Hamite. And that Edomite woman, I'm pretty sure that's what she was, because she damn sure wasn't no Israelite. She was not no Israelite. I mean, she was not no Israelite, nowhere near Hebrew. But Joseph, spirit, bear witness that he's an Israelite because he can relate to all that stuff. And he ended up going to prison. He served 2 years in the prison, but God still blessed Joseph in his affliction. And he had Ephraim, which was the youngest one, and Manasseh. Manasseh was the older one, the older brother of Joseph. But God chose Ephraim, the younger one, because he said he was going to be great. Matter of fact, his grandfather Jacob said, I saw him being his seed. My father also showed me his seed was going to be a multitude of nations. He told Joseph was telling Jacob was telling Joseph that. And he embraced his 2 sons and he put his left hand toward Manasseh's hand, I think, and put his right hand on Joseph's head. And Joseph said, "What are you doing?" And then he replied and stating that, I know it. He said, "I know it, my son." Now, he said, "Put your hand upon the older one." He said, "He's the oldest." He said, I know it, Jacob said, "I know it, my son. I know it. But God has showed me that he will also going to be great." God showed me that he was going to be great, right? So when you go through a lot, and when the so-called white man, when they see the greatness in your people, when they see greatness in our people, they don't do it because of the skin color. It has nothing to do with skin color, period. This has nothing to do with skin color. This has to do with your bloodline. They hate you because, or they hate our people, they hate us because of bloodline. It has nothing to do with color. No, they care less about that. They want to make you think, okay, maybe to some extent, yes, it is. You can say that. But for the most part, the reason why our people are favored like that is because they know what the hell is going on. They know that you're great, you're stronger, you're a lot stronger no matter what. They've done everything they can to try to mix us up. So Joseph ended up being the greatest, but he was accused. If you read the story of Genesis 39, Genesis chapter 39 and 1, and you'll see how it all started and how it all went down. Joseph was being blessed because God favored Joseph, and the enemy saw God even gave Joseph favor with the enemy, right? God gave Joseph favor with the enemy. So don't think the enemy is not going to be jealous of that. So the enemy got jealous, the enemy, and that woman was a Hebrew and she was jealous. I mean, excuse me, the woman was an Edomite and she was jealous of the Hebrew Joseph because Joseph was chosen. They hate you because you're chosen by God. That's why they do that, because they're afraid of you because you're dominant. So Joseph, like I said, ended up doing time for a charge that was laid on him innocently. He was an innocent Hebrew brother and went to prison for no damn reason. Just like if you look in our society today, that same shit can go on. How do I know that? Because I can relate to it, because it happened in my family. You see what I'm saying? And come to find out, they found out that it wasn't true. Yep. And so what I'm trying to share with y'all is that you notice that we living in a time where the so-called black man, color, but I don't say it, I'm just saying for context, on our young men. It's not to say our Hebrew women, our sisters go through a lot, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Why you think the black men live in this society and they go through so much? They hate you because you're the chosen people. You're a chosen Hebrew. And then our people is conditioned to hate us. Yeah, our people is conditioned to hate us. They love the white man more than they love their own people. That's slavery. That's what that is. They love the damn white man and the damn white woman and child more than they love us. And the white man is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. The so-called white man is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of, and I'm gonna say it. That's what they are. Yeah, they the damn devil. And I'm saying it because they got our people. Our people can't stand us because they demonic ass. Yeah, because it all stemmed from slavery. And then they got these double standards here. They got these double standards. You can see the hate in our people's eyes when you look at them. I can be passing by in a car. You can't even like, yo, yeah, what's up? They're going to look at you like they ready to kill you. But if Esau passed by them, they could jump out their car. Hey, how you doing? Invite them probably for a dinner and everything. But me, being a man of color, Esau and them, they can't relate to that because they are not, they never experienced being a so-called person. Not about color, but I'm just using it just for the sake of context. They don't know what that is to walk by and be hated by a non-white person, a so-called non-white person. A so-called non-white person is going to love the Europeans. But anything that is a so-called black person, a so-called person of color, I'm just gonna say it just for context. I know it's not correct, but I'm just saying, I'm just using it just for the sake of a context. That's all. So-called. Anything that is so-called black is in fucking trouble. Really, it is. Anything that is so-called black or anything that looks, I'm just gonna say, this is just me just making up stuff. I know this don't sound right, but I'm just doing it just for context. I know it's not correct. It's not correct. It doesn't mean I'm trying to put out lies. So make that clear. I'm not trying to put out lies or nothing like that. But if you're a so-called person of color, you're gonna be hated. Why? Because anything that looks the way that our people look at it, the way that the so-called black man or the so-called black woman look at the way they see it in their eyes, if you look close or if you somewhat close, closer than, oh, they close to us. We hate you. They gonna hate you. Anything that looks that's Caucasian and that look like the so-called white man. Now I notice I said look like, you can't go by what you look like, because you have Israelites that look like Caucasian people, and you have uh, so-called people of color who look like they're Negroes, but they actually is a European, but they look like they are Negroes. It can go both ways or whatever. So anywhere between somebody that's a non-black person, and you, especially if you're a Caucasian or closer, and you look Caucasian, or if you look more close, you're going to get by our people. They're going, because our people has been conditioned. Notice I said conditioned. Our people been conditioned during slavery is to see things through the appearance like that. That's where this ideal of appearance come from, because it's embedded in us, in our psyche, because it was beat into us to believe that if you look a certain way, if you swagged out, you got a lot of gold and all that kind of stuff, you in the game. You good. You are you. They gonna look up to you. Oh man, you my homeboy. You this and that. You got a lot of money, jewelry and stuff. That's we was taught that you are worth something. But anybody that is dressed in the way that you think that shouldn't be dressed, if you think in a way like, oh, he got on, look at the type of shoes he got on, look at the type of clothing he got on, look at this and that he got on. Oh man, you need to present yourself better. Your appearance tells a lot about you. We got those, all of the majority of that come from slavery. That's why we look down on each other when you wearing certain clothes, you riding a certain car, because we don't let the Caucasian people condition us is to hate each other because we don't have certain standards or meet certain standards in this society. We've been conditioned, but the so-called white man can walk around here, a dirty, nasty, big slob bum, and we'll turn around and look at him as God. They'll jump out their cars, probably take pictures of him and take pictures of the so-called white woman. I don't give a damn if they looking like a goddamn crackhead or whatever. They're gonna jump out their car. Hey, master, how you doing? That's what they gonna do. Hey, master, how you doing? Glad to see you today. You got any? You got some coffee and donuts? Master say, yeah, I got it. If the master say, man, look, take them old dirty shoes off. You ugly. Oh, master, I'm ugly. I'm ugly, master. Oh, okay. That's a compliment. Guess what, mom? Master, the so-called white man, turned ugly. Really, girl? They might laugh at it. Girl, and that shit told me that. This is how destroyed our people is. Our people are totally destroyed like that. Our people just that destroyed. Yeah, our people is just that destroyed. Yep. And Joseph ended up, I'm not trying to get away. It seems like I'm getting away, but I'm not. Joseph did all them years in the prison. Now, if you look at the society, what goes on with us, the so-called white man, woman, and child, the majority of them, they probably, it ain't not one car in the world that the majority of folks own. The first internet computer that came out in the early 2000s, when they first started YouTube, they had it all. The Apple, what you call those other iPhone 11, iPhone. I think they said they got an iPhone. I believe it's an iPhone 13 now. I believe it's an iPhone 13. Y'all help me out in the comment section. Do they? Because I know they said between iPhone 12. Seems like they said an iPhone 13, if I'm not mistaken. Everything that comes out, they can get it before you. Because all the white riches is hell. They control the world. They control the world. Their ancestors control everything. The government, that's the so-called white man. They control all of that. They can control whether you get a paycheck or not. They control all of that because, in spite of them saying, "Stop blaming the sub," how could our people say that? Matter of fact, how could they say you can't blame the so-called white man when he literally control how you get paid and how we get our money and get paid if we had a job? They control all of that. If that so-called white man say, no checks, no this, no that, guess what? That shit gonna be cut off because if you control something, how you gonna say you can't blame somebody that controls it all? That's like me having a goddamn remote control car, right? If I have a remote control car and I'm sitting there saying, well, you blame the car and not me. How you not gonna blame the damn car when I'm sitting there with the remote control and I'm controlling and steering that car where it should go? But you saying you can't blame, if I had a remote control goddamn car and they say you can't blame the so-called white man for everything, how can you say that if I had a goddamn remote control car and I'm controlling and I check and let that car roll out there in the road, who fault is that? Not the car fault. I control the car with the remote, right? So that's crazy. That's ignorant shit that people be talking. That's crazy. That's dumb as hell. But some of people sit there and like, nah, that ain't true. You're a damn lie. It's out there. You doing it. You control it. But they say you can't blame. How you can't blame something that controls something? It doesn't make any sense. Child, our people work on these jobs and some of the biggest slave traders and everything else but Esau. And they think they doing the right thing. Yeah, they actually believe that they're doing the right thing. Yep. When you talk now, if a white man, so-called white man, is talking the way I'm talking, I can be talking loud. If they hear it, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna stop every so-called black woman. Man, that's right, mister. That's right, Mr. White Man. You're right. We finally got a so-called white man to speak it. They'll accept it if a so-called white man say it. But when we get up and say something like this here, everybody look at it as a crime. They all look at it as a crime. And double standards. Let's continue to break that down. If a so-called woman gets with a young man, everybody, even the men is conditioned and brainwashed is to sit there, oh, go ahead on, you got you some there and all that kind of, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. This is the double standard. This is slave syndrome that I'm talking about. Oh man, you go ahead. Oh man, that's my. Oh man, that let him alone. The dad will be the man. The dad will be telling the mother, don't trip, man. Let that little man go, man. Let him be a man. Let him be a man. He's not to handle himself and all that. That's what you're gonna see. But if the flip turn around and something like that with a man, that happened with a man like that, oh my goodness, the roof will be off in the sky. It'll be, man, let's go find this, man, let's go kill this, let's go kill this motherfucker, man, let's go. All of that type of stuff is slavery. Now, I'm not sitting up here. I love my people, but only thing I'm doing, I'm just talking about how condition and how slavery damaged us. That's all I'm talking about. Because I will never go against. Look, I got videos from 2013, 8 years ago. This is my first mission. I had a desire. I said, you know what? Because I think what helped started this all. I believe I always had a desire to speak like this here. Even in 2005, I believe I did. I just didn't know that I was going to be. I didn't know, and I had no idea that I was going to be a YouTuber and broadcasting it on YouTube. I didn't know that. Most of that. But I'm just, when it comes to double standards, that is a thing that most people don't like to discuss. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't like to really discuss that. Just like they say, people don't talk about all of the things that happen in the black community when it comes to our children and things of that nature being damaged, and all of that in the homes by uncles and brothers and all that kind of stuff. You know, stuff like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They don't talk about that. So it's the same thing applies when people don't. These conversations don't come up. People don't take time to address this here. You see what I'm saying? But we do have these double standards in America. Like if a so-called black man, if he, and this is slavery. This is the condition of slavery. Our people being conditioned, and this is what we have here that the so-called white man has created. The so-called white man created all these double standards and enforced it all across the globe on every single person around the world. And you have our people walking around with that same destroyed mindset, because you have to understand the so-called white man, they push their ideology on everybody. They push that on everybody. They want everybody is to be this, everybody Mardi Gras, everybody Thanksgiving, everybody this, everybody, they culture, everybody's, they culture should be everybody's culture. That's what they did. Hold on. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Just hold on. I'm trying to get it to open back up. Yeah. They push their identity and their culture on everybody. And as soon as if a black man, I'm gonna reiterate, the black man, he come in and do something, and like he go out and he mess with an older woman or something, everybody will commend that younger man for going out. That's the double standards, a double slave syndrome standard that the white man created, and we all ate it and we eat it every day and we suck it up. You see what I'm saying? But if your girl do that with an older guy or whatever, the first thing you're gonna see is the whole community getting knives and guns and everything, going back into that community and everybody come if the so-called white men don't get a hold to them, anything of that nature yet or whatever. If the so-called white man don't get a hold to them, they gon' everybody in that neighborhood from Jones to the East Indian and to everybody, the enemies gonna team up with with Judah, the Hebrew people, our people, and you're gonna find the Israelites gonna be mixed with the enemy, and everybody gonna come together in agreement and go against their people and go along with the enemy to kill their own people when it comes to stuff like that. And that's how it is. But nobody wants to talk about that part. But it's true. Everybody know under the sound of my voice that this is true. But hold on. Yeah. Everybody know under the sound of my voice that that's true. And the so-called white man has created that, and they raped, robbed, and murdered everybody. They the biggest child molesters and rapists and all that stuff on the planet. They are. Yeah, they are the biggest of all. They are the worst at. They are the worst at any of this. They are the biggest. They are the number one enemy. We have enemies. Now they terrible. All we got all the other enemies they hate. But the so-called white man has so much blood on their hand till it ain't funny. I mean, it's never funny, but I'm just saying it's just ridiculous. Or however how you want to interpret that. Yep, it is crazy out here. And that's not even in our nature, is to want to harm our women and children and all that kind of stuff in those kind of ways and those acts and stuff like that, because it's in their nature. Going out in the woods and stuff, catching alligators with their damn hands and all that old kind of stuff. Dogs all up in the bed and all that old kind of stuff. Animals all in their bed, all kind of stuff. Yep. They got dogs all in their bed. You know that. You know we like shit. Yes, indeed. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close this out, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next live, and I'm gonna do another live. I'll do another one down here.